Hey guys, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Building Empires Network. Today we have a special guest, Mr. Derrick, and he's going to actually talk to us about how he used social media to get free leads, and that's helped him in his business. So Derrick, let's start off. Tell me a little bit on how you got started in real estate.
Gotcha, yeah, and thank you for having me. So I'm from a small town in Tennessee. I've been in Houston 12 years now. I moved here to go to University of Houston, become a petroleum engineer to get into real estate. I always had this fascination with real estate. I thought it would be, like I said, in my late 30s through being an engineer and buying rentals or whatever it may be. And then while I was in college, I went to a Rich Dad seminar, found out about wholesaling and like flipping and all these concepts that I'd never heard of. And for me at the time, I resonated with wholesaling because I didn't have a lot of money. I was in college, I was waiting tables, and I knew I could get started, having minimal money. So I dove into wholesaling, studied for way too long, like 8 months. I mean, the concept's pretty simple, right?
Yeah.
But we overcomplicate it. I studied wholesaling for like 8 months, and then my girl was like, "Hey, look, I need you to take action, or just shut up about real estate. I don't really care which one it is. Just
Do
pick one."
something.
Yeah. So I sent out some mailers, got a lady that was really motivated. Appointment went great. I just offered way too low. I had no idea what I was doing.
Right.
But for me, that showed that it was possible. And then that was at the end of 2015. So in January of 2016, I was like, I'm going to, dive head first, like 100%, and start marketing consistent, follow up, like really figure this business out. And that's kind of what I did. And, it took me 6 months after that to actually like get a deal under contract. And my mentor brought in a buyer and sold it. And we made like $8,000 that we split. And then the next 2 years was just kind of like a up and down roller coaster of, doing some deals, making money, getting lazy, going broke, doing some deals. I mean, I'm sure if you've been in real estate, that's pretty much how the first 2 years for everybody is. That's pretty much what I did. And then I met my business partner along the way. And then we've gotten into a lot of different stuff nowadays. A lot because of social media and meeting people and thinking bigger. But it really just started out as wholesaling.
Yeah. So you guys just started doing wholesaling together. How did you guys meet?
Through social media, actually. Yeah. Everybody in my life, yourself included, and everybody that I know and that we're friends with now is I've met through social media. I had sent him a DM asking about bandit signs, really just using it as a way to have lunch and just see what he was doing, if it was working. I used to do a lot of lunches back then. And I was JVing with a lot of people because I had went broke again, and I was just trying to build up capital. And we ended up doing like a couple deals together, and then we kept doing more deals together. And after like 6 months, he was still working a full-time job. I was like, hey, if we're doing this while you're working, imagine if you quit your job, how successful we would be. And after 6 months of pestering him, he finally quit his job. And then, like I said, we started buying rentals, and then that led to flipping. And now we're doing all of that in Airbnb, new development. So it kind of, like anything else, it just slowly evolved from putting one foot in front of the other and then just working together and figuring each other out.
Nice. So tell us a little bit, because I know you said you went out there, you used social media. So for somebody who has no money and wants to do the same strategy, what are the things that you did that helped you?
Gotcha. So for me, I always tell people, if you're going to get started, it doesn't matter if it's wholesaling, buying rentals, or flipping. You need to understand marketing. And for me, I looked at my budget and I had $200 extra that I could spare each month. And I did direct mail at the time. I mean, obviously that was like 6 years ago. But I think the most important thing is just figuring out marketing, right? And focusing on what it is that you want to do. So if you're going to do direct mail, only do direct mail. That's all I did until I got a deal. If you want to cold call, only cold call. If social media is going to be your strategy, which we can talk more about, like that's all you need to do. But I think, figure out marketing and what you want to do, and then just focus 100% on that, because so many people get distracted from gurus and creative finance, all these buzzwords that they hear and things that they want to do, but it's like you need to learn the basics first.
Right. I agree.
Yeah. So that's just kind of everything. It just slowly evolved, but I think just starting with one thing, and then as you learn something else, maybe try it, but don't lose focus of that one thing that you're doing, because I feel like a lot of times people get shiny object syndrome, right?
Right.
And they hop from one thing to the next, and they don't end up getting anywhere, and then they quit real estate, and they're like, it doesn't work.
Right.
And we know it works.
Yeah.
You just have to have focus in it.
Yeah. So if someone was to get started with social media, I mean, what are the first things that you were doing?
So with social media, I think the first thing that you should do is go unfollow anyone that doesn't make you happy. I know that's so simple. But as we were talking about before we got started, social media is so powerful, and the internet's still very young. People don't realize, like, on a scale of like age, the internet is like barely touching its 30s. So there's a lot to still learn about it, and a lot of people don't understand. And I think one of the most critical things is the things that we put into our mind and we see on a daily basis.
Right.
And there's a lot of good that comes from social media, but there's also a lot of bad. So I think the first thing that you should do is unfollow anybody that makes you unhappy, whether that's jealous, it makes you mad, any type of negative feeling that you have, if there's somebody that you follow, unfollow them. So once you clear all of that out, the next thing that you should do is start following people that make you happy, right?
Okay.
Or shed a positive light in your life, whether, like we were talking about, Ed Milet. I'm a huge Ed Milet fan. There's so many people that you can follow, even people locally, right, that we put out content. Just find people that when you search them, it gives you a positive insight, or you're like, hey, I could possibly do that, or they taught me something. It doesn't have to just be real estate. I mean, I follow people that do all different types of businesses, but they put out positive content.
Right.
So I think that's the second thing you do. The third thing that you should do is figure out what it is that you want to make content about. And maybe you don't know what that is right now. Maybe you just start with making posts on Facebook, right? I always say, like, people post about their cats and their weddings and all this other stuff, but I just post about real estate and what I do, my losses, my wins. And through that and doing that, over the last 6 or 7 years, people know exactly Derrick does real estate or Derrick does business, right? So I think just figuring out what you're going to post, right? If you want to be a fitness influencer, maybe it's fitness content or tips. If you want to do real estate, maybe it's real estate, tips or content. If it's business, same. But once you figure out what that is, then do it, right? Because once again, we get stuck in analysis paralysis. Make sure you post. And when I say post, I mean like minimum once a day. And honestly, that's very low, because we all know, like, the amount of content that we all consume on a daily basis. I mean, you could be on TikTok for 10 minutes and watch almost 100 videos, like, if you just burn through. So you have to break through the noise of these people. So what are you going to put out that's going to break through the noise where they stop and they're like, oh, I should listen to Derrick, I should listen to Andrea, right? So figure out what you're going to put out. And then as that goes on and you get your reps in, then maybe you start turning it into a brand, or you figure out a catchy, Instagram tag or name that works for you that you can then build on. But I think so many people focus on, like, being exactly, correct, and I need a graphic designer and a logo, and it's like, bro, just put out content. Nobody's gonna want to hear you regardless, so worry about, putting out value, and then you can make it prettier as you go. But I think people get caught up in the details. It's the same with real estate, right? They think they have to know everything, and it's like, you just need to get started. You need to talk to a seller. You're asking me about LLCs, and you've never even talked to a seller. So it's just the focus, right? It goes back to focus and figuring out what you want to do, and how you want to put out that content, and what platform do you want to use, right? Is it Instagram? Is it Facebook? Is it TikTok? Maybe it's all of them. Maybe it's YouTube. I say pick one with a low barrier to entry. TikTok and Reels is probably the easiest right now, or Facebook, just to get a great reach. YouTube is hard, right? Like, you have to shoot a video, you have to edit it. Most people don't have a team. So pick something easy, pick something that you'll be consistent at.
Now, if it was someone that was like, hey, I don't want to do content. I'm just getting started. I want to, maybe, is it reaching out to those investors that are like sending out DMs, anything that you did that kind of helped, kind of like you said, you reached out to Ben and said, hey, so you started interacting with people on social media. Tell us a little bit about those things that you did to kind of help you.
Yeah, I mean, networking is key, right? For me, I'm an introvert, so I honestly hate going to networking events. It's just like go talk about yourself, and I'm not like a braggadocious person. But I think through social media, one thing that I realized for me is like I can have a direct conversation, and I always tell people this is like we're in a time where like realistically if I wanted to like I could reach out to Elon Musk, right? And people are
Right.
like, oh, you couldn't, but it's like I could shoot a DM and there's a very likelihood that he would see it, or hop on Twitter, like he's been responding to people. We've never had that before, ever in history.
Yeah.
So it's like use it as a tool, right?
Right.
Like dudes use it to hop in girls' DMs and vice
Yeah.
versa. Like use it to make money. So for me, what I would do is I would just hop in, like I would see something. So for Ben, it was bandit signs. Still have never done a bandit sign, but I knew it was something that we
Yeah.
could talk about. He was doing, and I was like, hey, if you ever want to do lunch, like let me know. Now I get a million of these DMs a day, right? We should do lunch. We should do coffee. I have people get mad at me because they're coming in town and they just assume that I'm going to clear my schedule, to have lunch with them. And it's like, you need to lead with value. So
Yeah.
for me, my value at the time was, hey, if you ever need help selling a deal or you want me to go run an appointment for you, whatever it is that I can help you with in your business, like let me know and I'm there.
Right.
And then when you tell somebody those things, when they call you, like do them, even if
Yeah.
it's an inconvenience for you, because a lot of times those relationships turn into way bigger things that could change your life. So for me, what I would do is, I would always offer lunch, but I would be more importantly, if you can't do lunch, I understand. But if you ever need anything, a runner, somebody to take pictures, and that's how I met a lot of investors getting started.
That's actually a great tip.
Yeah,
To
and-
be a runner, a picture. Yeah.
Literally, I mean, how many times do we need somebody? Like, I had a showing this morning, and Ben went, but if he didn't, then it's like I have the buyer with the tenant. That's a
Yeah.
whole. But if you had somebody that could just go do it, you know what I mean? Or like right now, we're looking for someone to just help come hold a camera and like follow us around a couple of days a week. But it's like you could hang out with us, ask
Yeah.
anything you want, but you're providing value to me. And of course, I'm going to give you value. Like, even just being around us at this stage, you're going to learn something.
Right.
Even if it just helped you buy one property, that's my whole thing is like, you don't have to be this huge investor, but everybody should be buying real estate.
Right. Right.
So,
And that is really, really true. Because yesterday when I was out there filming with the guys, and I was just talking, I'm like, man, you guys are gonna learn a lot. Because it's like I was breaking down each deal, where did I got it, things like that. So I'm like, man, you guys. So that is actually a really, really good tip. So for anyone out there,
yeah, is that how to get a free education. I mean, even with my mentor, right? How I met my mentor is my girl was a hairstylist, and this guy came in. He was yelling at a contractor, and we had just went to the seminar. We were like jazzed up, and we're like, we're gonna do real estate, and he was just like, don't, right? Like, you don't want to do real estate. And after that, he would keep coming in, and we would be like, hey, like we've been going on appointments, like we would just share, and he still was like, these kids, whatever.
Yeah.
But then it was like after like the 10th or 11th appointment, he's like, okay, like for me, it was like, I'm going to be successful regardless. If you can help me, cool. But if
Right.
not, I'll figure it out. But because I kept bringing like deals, and a couple, like they almost worked out, and he saw that I was serious, then he was like, okay. Because I think so many times people are like, well, I want a mentor, but it's like the teacher doesn't appear until the student's ready. How can I help you wholesale if you've never even read a book on wholesaling?
Right. Right.
Maybe you don't understand how to do a contract, but if you don't even know what contracts are needed, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
help yourself first. And then, we're happy to help. Like, I love seeing people get
Yeah.
their first deal or us make money together. But, a lot of people, they don't want to put in the work, or
Right.
they just want it. That's the bad about social media, right?
Yeah.
People, everything is instant. They want it handed to themselves. And it's like, I don't know how long you've been doing it, but I'm going on my 7th year. It's like, I'm getting closer to a decade
Yeah.
of being in this business. I can't just give you my time so freely, but if you brought me value, I'd be happy to help you.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yes, because that is true. Like a lot of people are like wanted, like, hey, I'll take you to me, it's like you said, you bring me value. I tell, like, especially realtors, I'm like, I have a computer, I have leads. You guys want to come and call them? I can train you on how to use the script, things like that. So we can, sharing each other's value. And I actually had a realtor that got a lead from that. So we were able to get both paid from that. So, hey, she brought value, I brought value, and that was good. So it's, yeah.
It's a win-win. And that's the beautiful thing about real estate, right? This is one of the only businesses where if done correctly, everybody in a transaction gets exactly what they want.
Right.
And we all need each other to make it happen, right? Like I can't close a deal without a seller and, me being the buyer. So that's a win-win. So but people don't think like that. So I would say, like, if you're going to hop in somebody's DM or you're going to leave a message, don't just say, hey, can I pick your brain? Can I go to lunch? Like, hey, I have this deal. I have no idea what I'm doing. Can you take a look at it? And another thing too, people need to realize is just that we're busy, right? So sometimes, like, and I even do this with text messages, like I'll type a whole text and then I'll get a phone call.
And I don't send it. I do that
3
all the
days
time.
go by, right? Like,
I do that all the time.
nobody is obligated to give you their time is my point, though. Is like, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And maybe you weren't supposed to meet with that person. Maybe that was kind of a blessing. But, I think people sometimes feel just because I talk with this person, they're obligated to give me their time. And it's like, I'm not obligated to anybody really but my family and myself. So,
yeah, that's good. That's good. So now, what would you say? So a lot of your deals, do they come from JV?
Yeah. Like it's funny, we were talking about this when we did the last meeting with JR, but like right now, obviously we have not a lot, but we still have like 8 or 9 flips on the board that we're just trying to clear off. But when it comes to marketing, like I really started to look at over half of our deals this year, or close to half, probably like 40%, came through social media.
Nice.
Like whether, and that all looks different, like whether that's me being on Facebook late at night and finding a deal in a group, people sending me deals. People send me deals every day, like 3 to 5 deals a day. And most of them aren't deals, but that's a free lead source, right?
Exactly.
So free deals, Facebook groups, and just marketing on Facebook. Somebody will see my post, or some of my friends, I've bought a lot of deals like through their family members. Like I did a deal recently where somebody, their father-in-law had a property from his father-in-law that passed away, and I sold it to Steven. I think we made like 40 grand in like 2 weeks. And
nice.
That's just from constantly. Now, there's no telling how long they've seen my posts, but that's the power of social media, and you never know who's watching you. Like my contractor, he just moved in a new neighborhood, and he literally texted me yesterday and was like, hey, I know this is random, but my old white 50-year-old neighbor knows who you are and follows you on Instagram. And
that's funny.
All from just like coming to his house for like 5 minutes one day.
Nice.
And it's just like you never know who's watching, so it's like you never know who could bring you a deal. I have a beach house that we bought in Galveston that we're gonna Airbnb, and that came from social media as well. And I got that lead when me and my girl were on vacation in Cabo, and this dude's like, I have a house. I made a ridiculously low offer, and he said yes. I should have probably offered lower.
Dang.
But, the house did need a lot of work, but that came from social media, and I have so many stories like that of just people that bring me deals. So even with marketing now, we've cut all but one marketing source right now until the beginning of the year till we figure out what we want to do. So, like, we cut cold calling and texting and everything. We really just doing SEO and social media just because I get so many deals. So yeah, it's beautiful. It's free marketing.
It is free marketing, and I don't even do like really social media. I'm just now starting to get to that, but yeah, I mean, I do cold calling, SMS. I mean, we still have it running, but we want to get into the social media next year. But it makes sense. I mean, 40,000 just off of a post. Jeez. What are we doing, guys? I'm like, what are we doing here? Yeah, and I know a lot of people do get scared, but I mean, shit, if it takes 40,000, I'm gonna take my ass to social media and put myself out there.
Well, I think we get caught so much in comparison, and it's like I don't know. Like for me, where I grew up in East Tennessee, like, being mixed and everything, I never fit in. Like I just never fit in. That's why I wanted to leave so bad. So for me, like, I don't care that I don't fit in. Like now, like I'll vlog in public, like with this big ass camera. Like I really don't care what people think, because I get all these DMs from people or like random people come up to me. I had a guy like one time, like at the gym, just come up to me and be like, hey, like you don't know me, but Me and my wife bought a foreclosure just off the information you give out. He's like, I just I
Nice.
appreciate it. Like, they just bought a house with equity, and I'm like, that's why I do it.
Right.
So it's like I don't really care what people think because I know the positive that I'm putting out, and it doesn't matter either way. Like if you're putting out negative, positive, there's always going to be
Somebody wants, yeah.
saying somebody that's sitting on their couch not doing anything with their life. They're always going to hate. So I'm not going to let it stop my shine. Or more so, it's about the people that I can affect. I'm not. There could be somebody out there like myself that just needs that one word or one video that's like, oh, I could do this and I could make that amount of money and change my life, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just, it's not so much to do. It's just like, hey, it's social media. Get out there, put your message. Somebody's going to like it. Somebody's going to start following you. Even if at the beginning you only get like 2 or 3 likes, I feel like a lot of people get discouraged because they're like, oh my God, it's embarrassing that other people are going to see that we only got 2 likes. I'm like, hey, man, those 2 likes, I appreciate those 2 likes. You know?
Those are the
Shout
people.
out to those 2 likes.
Yeah. And when you get bigger, right, it's like when it does catch traction, whatever that looks like for you, the people that you want to see, you don't want them to see your first couple of videos and posts and stuff anyways. Like, I leave them up, but it's like, to me, it shows all the growth because when you do find your crowd and your tribe, those that have been with you, those 2 likes, they're going to ride for you. And then the new people are going to be like, oh, I can go back and see this whole person's journey. You know what I mean?
Damn, only if they saw me at the beginning.
Right?
It was bad.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was bad. I couldn't sit still. But yeah, I mean, and that's how I started. Christy and I just said, hey, you know, let's just start a podcast. Let's just put ourselves out there. We literally just went in my office. We used the space in there, put a big ass sign in the back and just started filming and like, hey, welcome to our podcast. And just kind of threw ourselves out there and slowly, you know, we just started building it and it started for fun. You know, it's like, let's just do it for fun. And now it's like, hey, man, it's actually going somewhere. So sometimes you got to just pretend like, hey, let's just have fun with it. Let's not really be so serious like, oh, let me see how many likes. Just put it out there. Don't even look. Just keep putting videos out there and something will eventually stick.
Yeah. Yeah. No, 100%. 100%. And I think you have to I think, you know, obviously our circle and everybody that we're surrounded with, we just love the hustle. We love the game, right? We love building things, even if it doesn't pay now. I mean, you look at some of these people like Ryan Pineda and Kong and like some of these people, Max Maxwell, which is like the reason why I started building a brand is like I see where they are at. And not to knock these guys, but there's nothing special. They just were consistent.
Right.
They just
exactly
did it. So it's like, you know, I see what they've done and it's like, I could do that as well. So why not, you know? And also I think it's easier for people that are in the business because I know people struggle with social media. It's like you're trying to figure out how to like create something and you just need to document. Like our lives is crazy enough. Like, like I was talking with my buddy the other day. We shot some content. We were just talking, and he's telling me the story about because I'm like, what's the craziest thing that's happened? And he's like, probably like when we found a dead body in one of our units. But like the way he said it was so casual, but that's normal for us. Like it sounds crazy, but think of all the crazy things that we've been through that we can just tell stories for days. So it's like, it's not really about creating content. A lot of times it's just getting it out and documenting what's going on. Because our lives are, I mean, because the people we deal with, the situations, it's a lot different than, you know, just a traditional real estate sale. Like the reason we make money is because these people need help and they're in these situations. So it's like, just share everything and then you can put your twist to it, right?
What's the craziest thing you saw?
That I've saw, man,
you witnessed,
right? I was trying to think about this the other day because the other morning I was on the way to an appointment at one of our flips, and I got ran off the road by like an active police chase. Like,
yeah, that is crazy.
But when it comes to the real estate side, I mean, I'm not sure. The other day we sent it's like there's so many, right?
I know.
The other day we sent a buyer to go lock a house and the seller didn't answer the door. We couldn't figure it out. He wasn't answering his phone. So like after like a day, we sent a police officer to do a wellness check and the guy committed suicide.
Dang.
And that was just last week. Like, so there's so many situations I could give, but there's always something going on. So that's why I always share it too, because I feel like a lot of times people won't believe me if I don't share it. And like, I have proof of like, hey, this happened. We bought a house recently that was filled with like human feces, like they were pooping in a bucket.
What?
And then they spilt it on the carpet and tried to mop it up. I don't know what the reasoning was. Yeah, there's so many things. But like, same thing, I made a video about it because I'm like, you got to see this to believe it.
That's true. And that's something I should, because we always see crazy things all the time. Last time we were at a property and we just heard like gunshots and we're like, what the hell? Like, get out of here. But so, and I know you're really good about sharing your losses. Tell us a little bit about, some losses, some recent losses that just happened. I know you posted about.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we were flipping a lot of houses. I think at one time we had like 25 active flips or some shit. It was crazy. It kind of got out of hand, but the market was so good. So, a lot of the deals that we were buying, some were great deals, some were good deals.
Yeah.
And, like Brandon Turner always says, you will go broke from buying good deals. So a lot of those deals we got off the board before the market changed. Some of them we did not. So we still have like 2 or 3 that, one we're going to take a big loss on. We did a high-end flip, which I never do high-end flips, but because the market was so good, right, we were buying things that we shouldn't be buying. And we lost like $38,000 on that one. And it was supposed to be a 6-figure flip, like all day. Like my worst case numbers was we were going to walk away with $100,000, and I ended up paying $20,000 at close on top of the money that I already had in it. So it's like, yeah. So I mean, with the market changing, we're obviously still buying deals. We're still making money, but some of those deals that we bought a few months ago, since interest rates have went up and the buyer pool has changed, we're taking losses on those. But I mean, it sucks, but at the end of the day, it's numbers on a screen, and we'll bounce back. But I like to share those things because when the market was hot, I was sharing everything. Right? We're buying 6, 7 flips this week, or 5, or we're selling whatever. It's my duty to tell you, like, hey, we're losing too now. And those people that say they're not, they are. Mm-hmm. And there's not, like, I have friends in all over, the U.S. It's the same conversation. We bought good deals because the market was good, and a couple things went wrong, but we were like, oh, when we go to sell it, we're gonna get it back, and we didn't. So it's really just like pivoting, being fluid, figuring out what's gonna work, what does next year look like, and this whole thing always, take lessons from the bad. Is for us, we've already been in the mindset of we want to do bigger deals. So this kind of pushes us that way, and to just be super refined on our buying criteria, which we had been up until this year. So, bad, it always brings lessons. And unfortunately, it's hindsight, right? You can't see it until it's done. But, all the decisions we made, they were good decisions at the time. But nobody expected us to go from the lowest interest rates that we've ever had in history to
the highest,
to potentially the highest. I mean, I just got quoted on a refinance and we're in the 8s. Some were quoting me 9%. So it's like, I might just stay in my private money for a year or 2 and just see
what happens.
But losses, it's gonna happen. Even before we got to this point, our losses were very minimal, just because you make your money when you buy. So, we're really good at buying good deals, or, great deals really off market. But, this year we loosened our belt buckle and we were paying for it. But, it's not going to, like I said, we're in love with the game, right?
Right, so of course.
I'm going to take my lessons and, make next year better, right? But, it's, if somebody tells you they haven't lost money in real estate, they're lying, or they haven't been doing it long enough.
Right. Yeah. So what does it look like for you guys next year? What are the things that you guys going to pivot to?
Yeah. So like I said, we want to do multifamily. We've kind of been there already, but whether that's, bigger land deals, wholesaling, kind of like what Wilney's doing, buying either like self-storage or a mobile home park or small multifamily. Well, bigger. We already have a couple like duplexes and stuff, but, like 20 to like 100 units. I would really like to do that. And then kind of what we talked about with this is just really like forever my friend Lily had this conversation with me probably like a year ago. She's like a huge YouTube creator. And she was like, do you want to be a real estate investor who makes content, or do you want to be a content creator who does real estate? And at the time, I wanted to do real estate and make content. But as I've went through the year and I've made more content, because that was my yearly goal, was to really commit to my content and like making a YouTube video once or twice a week and like really pouring into it. I really enjoy making content and doing stuff like this, sharing my experiences, and I have other things that I want to do outside of real estate. So I think for us, it's really leaning into the brand more, making more content. We're coming out with like a course, kind of like academy, where it just kind of teaches you everything about real estate with like weekly coaching calls.
Nice.
So leaning into that, building the brand, growing my YouTube, and just seeing what other opportunities, because naturally that's going to bring the bigger deals.
Right,
the
of
more
course.
people that know about us. Also, we're very blessed to have like a lot of private money that believes and trusts in what we do. So I want to take that, and instead of trying to do 100 flips, maybe do like 3 apartments.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And, it just is a lot less. It's going to be the same amount of work, but the profit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's cool making 30, 40 grand, but I've been in the room with a lot of people this year where they'll do, 2-3 deals and cash out a few million. And I'm like, that sounds a lot better than me working like a dog over here. So yeah, just bigger. That's my whole theme for 2023, is just bigger. And I think because of where we're headed with the market, obviously there's going to be a lot of opportunity. It's no longer a seller's market, right? Like it's a buyer's market, and I think sellers will finally catch on. So I just want to take advantage and, get some bigger deals done, really.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And we're definitely also hitting multifamily a lot more. And it's like anything, because we market to single family, but we don't market to multifamily the way we do to single family. So if I could just change that and just do all multifamily, I'm sure I'll eventually land a deal. So we're going to do a lot more of that as well. And yeah, like you said, makes sense. You're putting the same amount of effort for single family. If you were to do the same for multifamily, I mean, it is a little bit harder, and they do take a little longer to close. But one thing I would say, Cher, is never turn off what works. Like, single family has always worked for me.
Oh, yeah.
And then if you slowly want to get into the multifamily, because I know it's happened to like, oh, I'm just going to do multifamily. And then it's like, damn, I'm not bringing no kind of income, So never turn off what works for you and, when you're starting something new. But yeah, I totally agree with you on the multifamily.
Yeah. And I think, like you said, a lot of people, they kind of crap on single family. And for me, I love
single family.
Like, I love it. There's like, I mean, I know even with rates being up, it's still one of the greatest. Like, if you can borrow a house, if I can get a free house, I'll do that all day. I just, like you said, I do want to do that with bigger deals, but I get so many deals brought to me. It's like, I would be stupid to just say no. You know what I mean? We're still going to flip. We'll probably still do hotels. I just, like I said, instead of trying to do 100 and, some are good deals, some are great deals, let's just do less, but only great deals. Like, let's just say no to a lot more.
You say that, but you're not. Because I said the same thing, and it's like, no. Because it's money. It's like, why are you going to turn it down? Yeah. So let's be real here.
It's a struggle, right? It's just, we love the hustle. Like, yeah. I genuinely, one of my favorite things is putting a deal together. Yeah. And seeing if we can close a deal. Like, yeah. It's like the most exciting thing. Like, the money's like whatever. It's just like literally doing it. Like, we had a deal recently where it took 2 months. I had 2 buyers back out. I finally got a new buyer. We got all the way. We had like a lien with the city that we had to pay. Like, they wouldn't take it at closing. We had to pay it before they would release it. Oh, man. Then when we did that, they didn't want to release it. We had to get on the phone with the mayor of Pasadena. Got it done.
Oh, it's those Pasadena deals.
Then once we got all that cleared, we got all the way to the closing table. There were 5 heirs to sign. Only 2 of them wanted to sign. So not only did I do all this stuff, but and then we ended up getting it closed. But it was like, it took 2 or 3 months. But like, closing that deal was like, there's no better feeling, right?
Yeah. That's most of our deals. They're like that. And it's like, you got to put all the dots together. freaking go at where the crackers are like, hey man, you gotta say I got some money for you to sign the damn contract. But yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I've done it.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta do what you gotta do.
The things that we do to get deals and the areas,
And it's always in those bad areas.
Oh yeah, one of our new Airbnbs is it's in Fifth Ward, not the best area in Fifth Ward. And I was leaving the other day, and like you said, a junkie, crackhead, whatever, randomly comes to my window, and I'm like, "What's up, man?" And he was like, "You need any power beats?" And I was like, I don't need any headphones. I appreciate it though.
Hey, just to find out they're your own power beats.
Right. Yeah, that he stole from the old tenant.
Right, that's funny. Yeah. So that's nice. So what are your plans to really like for 2023? I know you say you want to work on your brand and stuff like that. Do you have an office or anything where people maybe can go find you? Or he's like, oh, hell no, I'm not going to share that.
No, I don't have an office at this time. Like I said, Ben and I have honestly never wanted one. And then like we were talking about, I do want to get like a studio, something like this, and where I can create content, and then maybe we'll have an office there. But yeah, I mean, the best place to find me really is social media. It's Flipping a House, and I'm sure you'll tag, and I'll tag as well. But yeah, I mean, just bigger, like you said. I really want to lean into the content, just give more value. Meet more people. Like I plan on doing a lot more networking. It's something I was very intentional about this year, and I ended up meeting a lot of great people, a lot of high net worth people that just think bigger, and I want to keep doing that. Like I want that to be the norm. Like my friends are eventually like Ed Milet and stuff, right? Like
yes.
They're just like, they're go-givers. They believe in you winning. They want to see you win. And, just thinking just bigger. That's literally my title of 2023, just bigger.
Yeah. No. And one thing I love about you, Derrick, is like, you're giving out such great tips for somebody who has like no money. They're probably single. Go out there and go to network events. Surround yourself with people like Derrick or people that are actually doing things, and do favors for them. Like, hey, you want me to go take pictures, put yourself available so that way you can learn from them. But these are easy. These are tips that you don't need money. It's going to require your hustle, and I feel like a lot of people, they don't want to put in that work, they don't want to go to the network events, or they're not there to really they're just like, oh, let me just say that I'm here so I can look like I'm doing something. It's like, no, you got to go out there, have conversations, talk to people all the time, and you will generate free leads, like that. And because there's like, oh, well, it takes money, or it's either going to take money or it's going to take the time, so... So he just put out really, really great tips, and everything that he does or did, I never did. I kind of went straight to the SMS and all of that, but I'm actually going to do that this coming year, because I'm like, hey man, I've never even tried social media, and that's free. So definitely going to hit that direction myself as well.
Yeah, and I think we all have a story to share. That's why we go through the tough things. We all have bad shit happen.
Yeah.
So it's only to make us a better person. So I think everybody has a story to tell, and we all have something that we're passionate about, even if it's like a side thing. And you're gonna find, that's the beautiful thing, is like you're gonna find your tribe. Like, yeah. Or if not, you'll just create it. And
right.
I think that's really the best thing to do. And like you said, locally, like especially if you're in a big city, like think of there's so many people that are in Houston that are our friends. Some are, some aren't, but that are just like crushing. So it's like, get out of your mind that there's not enough for anybody.
Right.
Be a go-giver, like you said, lead with value, and just do it. And like, don't worry about what people think. Like, I would much rather people laugh at me and be rich than them laugh at me and be broke.
Exactly.
It's gonna happen either way.
Yeah.
But I would much rather, what I'm saying, do it with a full stomach.
No. Yeah, I totally. Exactly right. Eating it with the steak, right? Laughing. No, and I totally agree. And I feel like that's where a lot of people like hold themselves back. It's like, what are people going to say about me? What, the critics. It's like, oh, well, just go in there. They're going to talk about you regardless. So just go out there.
Give them something to hate on at least.
Exactly. Right? All right. So before we do leave now, tell me a little bit about your course. So if people want to know a little bit about it, tell me a little bit about the course. What's in there?
Yeah. So, we keep having setbacks, right? But we did finally film. We filmed about 80% of it the other day. But it's going to start with wholesaling. So if you don't know anything about wholesaling, it's going to go over that. It's going to break down all of flipping. And then the last part is going to be how to buy rentals, just using the BRRRR method, what to look out for, how to do things the right way. And then we're going to have a bunch of extra bonuses with some of our affiliate people. And also we'll probably do like an extra like wholesaling course, because that's similar to flipping, but just to try to provide value. So that's the first thing. And then, like I said, separately, we're going to have weekly coaching classes where we teach a topic every week. And then once a month, I'll have some of my friends like yourself, my CPA, just, experts in their field, come in and tell their story and, teach on a topic. So yeah, that's going to be it. We're trying to get it done by the end of the year. We'll see how that turns out. But worst case, end of January. Like I said, we've already filmed it, so we just got to edit it, package it, and get it out there. So it's a work in progress like anything else. But yeah, it's coming soon.
I mean, and it sounds like you guys are definitely putting a lot into it, a lot of value into it. So now, is there a price on the course yet?
Yeah, well, we're going to have basically, we're going to do like the first 10 people that get it, right? Because we're all about providing value. Is going to be cheap. I don't know what that price is. And then eventually the idea is that it's going to be around $5,000, which, that's when I did a poll on my story, a lot of people were like, honestly, you need to be charging more. But for me, I think $5,000 is a reasonable amount for the value that you're going to get. And this is from somebody who, I tried to pay $50,000 to learn real estate,
right?
With Rich Dad, and was turned down. So, and the value that you're going to get in this it's crazy what I was willing to pay for. But that's a different story for a different day. But yeah, it's like I said. But the first 10 people, once we do drop it, just because I want feedback, I want reviews, I want people to start doing deals for a couple months, and then we'll probably go to that higher price tier. But yeah, I'm really excited just because we've helped so many people already for free. So I'm excited to see those that actually pay and then take the action, because those that pay attention. So it's like, if you're willing to invest this, you're most likely going to take action. And if you don't succeed, I mean, it's not going to be on us, because we have a proven track record.
Right.
So yeah, I'm excited.
So what's going to be my affiliate code in case they want?
Yeah, I don't know. We're going to have to create one. Yeah.
Hey, nobody do nothing yet. Wait till I get my code. I'm just kidding. Well, I mean, that's pretty exciting, Ben. It sounds like you got a lot of great plans for the next coming year. Anything you would like to share with anybody who's just getting started, or maybe they're kind of on standby right now because of the way the market is? Anything you would like to share with them?
Yeah, take action. Like, start looking at deals every day. Every day you should be looking at deals and make offers. Even if it's like, I always tell people, go on the Facebook groups and just look for the last 6 months. And if you ran 10 properties, even 5 properties a day, and you just ran the numbers on them at just a 70%, like, this is what they say it's worth, like, what would my offer be at 70%, or, minus repairs, whatever. Take action, start doing that, build that muscle up, because over the next year or two, if interest rates keep going up, it's already in a buyer's market, but like, we were for sure, like, where sellers understand that we're in a buyer's market, it's going to be like one of the best times to pick up real estate, because people are going to be selling at such a discount. So it's like, even if the rate's a little bit higher or it doesn't cash flow right now, like, you're going to be able to get 100, maybe even more in equity, $100,000 or more in equity. And, it all starts now, right? It all starts by studying, feeling comfortable, making those offers. So I say take action. And when you take action, be consistent, and then follow up with these people. Yeah. Those really are like the keys to being successful.
So there you go, guys. So no excuses. Take action.
Right.
All right. Well, thank you so much, guys, for tuning in, and we will see you guys next Wednesday. Anything else you'd like to share before we go, where they can find you?
Yeah, just give me a follow. Flipping a House, one word, FLIPPINGAHOUSE. And shoot me a DM.
Sound like the ABCs.
Right. I've said it so many times. I got really lucky with the tag, but yeah, just give me a follow. Check it out. And
my phone wants to pray for you.
All right, guys.
That is hilarious. All right. Well, thank you so much, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.